Okay, ready for a deep dive.
Always.
Today, we're taking a look at Mitotlverse.
Definitely not your average band bio.
Not even close. From the jump, these guys are throwing a lot at us.
They really do list a lot of genres,
More than usual.
like Latin rhythms, reggae, jazz, groove, and blues.
Oh, but there's more. They even have dubstep, swing, and anime in there.
It's a little all over the place, right?
Well, it definitely grabs your attention. But when you think about it, this isn't just creative expression. It's actually a pretty savvy marketing move.
Yeah, how so?
Well, think about how music discovery works these days. It's all about algorithms and keywords.
Spotify, Apple Music.
Exactly. So by cramming in all these genres, Mitotlverse is maximizing their chances of showing up in searches.
Makes sense. They're casting a wide net to catch those listeners.
Exactly. They're basically speaking the language of streaming algorithms.
So it's less about actually mastering all these genres and more about gaming the system.
It's hard to say without hearing them, right? That's the million-dollar question.
I mean, it's one thing to claim you play every genre under the sun. It's another to actually pull it off.
Totally. So how can we get a better sense of whether they're the real deal?
Well, one interesting detail is they emphasize each member having 10 years of experience.
Oh, yeah, they mentioned that right at the top.
So this isn't some fresh-faced group just starting out.
These are seasoned professionals. They've likely honed their skills across multiple genres.
Right, so that gives a little more weight to their genre-bending claims.
It's not just a bunch of random influences thrown together. These guys have the experience to potentially back it up.
Potentially. But experience doesn't automatically equal quality.
True. True. But it definitely adds another layer to this whole mystery.
It does make you wonder what they're going for with this whole approach.
Like, are they aiming to be the next big festival headliner? Or are they targeting a more niche audience?
Right, and that's where things get really interesting when you look at what they're offering beyond just music.
Yeah, it's not just albums and shows with these guys. They're offering personalized live shows.
And professional studio recording services, too.
So they're not just performers, they're offering a whole experience.
Which suggests they might be targeting a niche audience. Maybe they're focusing on session work or even collaborating with other artists.
Like a musical Swiss Army knife.
Exactly, ready to adapt to any project.
Okay, I like that. A musical Swiss Army knife. But what about this platform they mentioned?
Stork Media Plus.
Yeah, have you heard of it?
Can't say I have. Which is definitely intriguing.
Makes you wonder if it's a new player in the music scene, maybe a platform specifically for independent artists.
Or maybe even a niche genre aggregator. Who knows?
It's like they're leaving a trail of breadcrumbs, daring us to follow them deeper into the Mitotlverse.
And speaking of breadcrumbs, what about that tagline at the end?
Yeah, comiste frutas y verduras.
Yeah, have you eaten your fruits and vegetables today? It's such a strange thing to tack onto a band bio.
Right, like what does that have to do with music?
It's definitely memorable.
Totally. It's like even if you forget the band's name, you'll remember those fruits and vegetables guys.
Maybe they're health nuts.
Or maybe it's a metaphor for something, like their music is good for you.
Who knows? But it definitely gets people talking, which is never a bad thing for marketing.
It's like they're creating a buzz before the buzz even begins.
Exactly.
Speaking of buzz, let's talk about those anime influences they mentioned. What kind of musical vibes are we talking about there?
Well, anime soundtracks are known for their epic orchestral arrangements.
Big, sweeping scores, like something out of a movie.
Exactly. And those super catchy melodies.
So we could be talking soaring strings, driving rock riffs, maybe even some traditional Japanese instruments thrown in.
It's a whole world of sonic possibilities, and it seems like Mitotlverse is tapping into that.
Which makes sense, considering anime is huge globally.
Massive fan base. So incorporating those elements is a smart way to connect with a wider audience.
It's like they're blending global influences with their own unique style.
Exactly. It's a melting pot of sounds.
A musical United Nations.
I like that.
Although it's interesting, they do specifically call themselves a reggae band at one point.
Right, but then they list all these other genres, so it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, it is a little contradictory.
Maybe reggae is their foundation.
Their home base.
Yeah, and then they branch out from there, experimenting with all these other influences.
Okay, I can see that. It's like having a musical anchor that keeps them grounded amidst all the experimentation. But with all this talk about marketing and genre bending and fruits and vegetables, we haven't really touched on how they actually describe their music.
It's true. We've been so caught up in the strategy that we've almost forgotten about the actual sound.
So what do they say about their music? Give us the lowdown.
Well, get ready for a lot of adjectives. They use words like unique experience and journey through genres.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
They talk about their contagious energy and mastery of instruments.
So far, so good.
Oh, and they even throw in the word magic at one point.
Magic, huh? Bold move.
It's a lot of hype, for sure, but it's also quite vague, isn't it?
Totally. It's like they're giving you a taste of the feast, but they're not revealing the entire menu.
Exactly.
Which I have to say makes me even more curious to hit play.
Me too. A little mystery can be a good thing.
Speaking of mystery, did you notice that dense paragraph at the end?
The one that's like reading a corporate memo.
Exactly. All that jargon about guidelines, manuals, processes. It feels very out of place compared to the rest of the bio.
Like, 1 minute you're talking about musical magic, and the next minute you're in a boardroom.
What do you think it means? Are they hinting at a bigger message?
It's hard to say.
Maybe it's their way of saying, hey, we're creative, but we're also professional.
Yeah, covering all the bases.
Structured chaos, organized mayhem.
A musical Swiss Army knife with a user manual.
I love it. It's like they're playing with these different perceptions.
Keeping us on our toes.
Exactly. So what's the final verdict? We've dissected this bio, analyzed their every word. Where do we land with Mitotlverse?
You know, it's been fascinating to unpack this band's story. They're clearly doing something different, something interesting.
They're not just another band page you scroll past on Spotify.
Right. They're making you stop, think, and want to learn more.
And that's huge in today's crowded music landscape.
Absolutely. But the ultimate question remains, does the music live up to the hype?
Will our ears be as intrigued as our minds?
That's for you, the listener, to decide.
Exactly. We've given you the map, pointed out the landmarks.
Now it's up to you to explore.
Dive into those playlists, check out their website, see if you can track down that Stork Media Plus platform.
And if you do take the Mitotlverse plunge, we want to know, did their music live up to the hype?
Did you eat your fruits and vegetables?
Because at the end of the day, music is subjective.
What resonates with one listener might not work for another.
And that's the beauty of music discovery. It's a journey.
So go forth, explore, and let us know what you find. Until next time, happy listening.